lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be diving into my spring capsule wardrobe. I always feel like spring is one of those seasons that are a little bit more tricky to dress for because you just have almost 4 seasons in one. The weather really changes up a lot, especially here in Scandinavia. So my spring capsule wardrobes are typically just a little bit larger because they need more room for variety. But before we dive into the specifics of my spring capsule wardrobe, if you do not know what a capsule wardrobe is, very briefly, it is all about intentional fashion. You create a smaller wardrobe, whether it is within what you already have or if you pack away everything else. You just have a limited number of pieces, and ideally most of them should work with each other. So it makes your wardrobe really versatile and curated. And for spring, we are obviously going for lighter layers, lighter colors, breathable fabrics. And as always is the case when I make these seasonal capsule wardrobes, I do have some pieces that carry over from season to season. So in my spring capsule wardrobe, I do also have some pieces that I had in my winter capsule wardrobe. The idea is absolutely not to run out and buy an entirely new wardrobe, but the color palette I have chosen for this spring capsule wardrobe is actually much more colorful than what I usually go for. Obviously, I do still have a majority of neutrals, but I wanted to play around more with color this spring. I'm really feeling the spring vibe, so that is what I have done. So for neutrals, I have gone for white and black, and then I have a couple of more beige-y, grayish neutral pieces as well. And the colors I have gone for are blue and olive green. And my strategy for color in a capsule wardrobe is that I want to have for each color a way of doing a monochromatic outfit in that color. For me, that is an approach that has worked well in the past, so I decided to do it this time around as well, even though it has meant that I do have quite a few pieces that are in a stronger color. We'll see how I get on with it and how versatile it is or isn't. And for this spring capsule wardrobe, I was very kindly sent over 4 pieces from Lilysilk to help me round it out, and I'm really grateful because I love their clothes. I also think Lilysilk is a fantastic place to look if you are creating a capsule wardrobe because they're focused on making high quality clothes from natural materials, which is something I personally really prioritize in my capsule wardrobe. And in addition to having really high quality clothes, they also go for really timeless styles, which is another thing you want to focus on when you create a capsule wardrobe. Very difficult to make a capsule wardrobe work if you are just filling it with all of the trends, because you are very quickly going to find it difficult to put together outfits for everyday life. A couple of trends I enjoy and I put in my capsule wardrobe, but mostly I focus on things that are going to stay in my wardrobe long term, not just for a season or 2. So if you want some really timeless and versatile pieces, you can check out Lilysilk. They have also provided me with a discount code that I can share with you. It is Sandra LS20 for 20% off, or Sandra LS25 for 25% off of orders that are above 480 euros, dollars, pounds, whatever you shop in. So let's just start with the trench coat hanging here first because I am so excited about this. And for me, a trench coat is present in a lot of my seasonal capsule wardrobes. It's also one of those pieces I think really ties together an entire outfit, and it's just a really great layering piece for spring. This is in a wool and silk blend, and you can see that it has silk because of that really sort of lustrous shine it has, and it has a 100% silk lining as well, so this is really breathable. And this fabric is also treated, so it is water repellent, which is really good because unfortunately we do get quite a few rain showers during the springtime, and it just makes this piece so much more versatile and useful, I think. Nothing too oversized, it's not overly fitted, but it's definitely more on that fitted side, which is coming back into the trend picture. I am blown away by the quality of this. It is a stunning piece. It is by far one of my most favorite new-in pieces in my wardrobe. The next piece I want to show you is this beautiful, very sophisticated blouse. I love this print. It's really classic, but still adding so much interest. And I do like to add a tiny bit of print into my capsule wardrobes just for a little bit of interest. And I think a stripe like this is fantastic because it's so easy to style. This is made out of 100% silk. It's obviously very, very soft, and because it has that loose drape as well, it just is such a comfortable piece to wear. And the fit of this means it's really good for layering as well, whether you want to layer a jumper over or even have a tank top underneath and just have this open or sort of very loosely tucked in. There are so many styling options for this. And I did say I included some color into my capsule wardrobe, and the color so often tend to be among my most favorite pieces, which is why I do sometimes prioritize it, because it just makes me so much more excited to create a capsule wardrobe and wear it and play around with it. Now, let me show you the skirt first. This is in double-faced charmeuse silk, which makes it really durable. It just has a better and more luxurious drape, I think, as well. And I think that a maxi skirt for spring is just a no-brainer. It also has these darts in the back to really give this skirt a nice shape, and the insides are also stitched with a French seam. These are things that make the garment more beautiful, more professional, and I always love a French seam like this because it's much softer against the skin, and I just like to point it out when I see it, because sometimes it's difficult to understand what makes something more expensive or more high quality. Now, I also have a knitted tank top in a matching color. This is going to be so good for creating those tonal looks, not just with this skirt, but other neutrals as well. This is in 100% wild silk, and it has that vintage inspired cable knit pattern. You can see it has that sheen because of the silk, and it's such a soft material as well. This is obviously really good for spring outfits, but I think even moving into summer, this is good because it is so breathable and just really soft. And elevated tank tops like this is one of the biggest trends for 2025, especially for the spring and summer. Just a really great piece either on its own or for layering. So those are my Lilysilk items. I have divided this capsule wardrobe into sort of my essentials and pieces that I feel enhance the style, and then I have a couple of true personality pieces at the end. So I want to start with the essential pieces, things that I wear over and over and over again. I wouldn't create a capsule wardrobe without. Let's start with some tops. When you put together a smaller collection of clothes, you really notice if something you wear every day is low quality. It's really worth investing in something that is a little bit better. When it comes to t-shirts, I don't think you need to go like off the handle or anything, but I really love my Arquette heavyweight t-shirts. I have the white and the black, and I have a couple of other colors as well, but I put these two pretty much in every single capsule wardrobe. They're just fantastic because they have a really good cut, a wider sleeve. The best part about these is that they are not see-through. Obviously the black one typically isn't, but it can be difficult to find white t-shirts that aren't see-through, and this is so good. I've recommended it to so many of my friends as well. And for this spring capsule wardrobe, I have included this top as well, which I classify as a t-shirt, but it is in a knit material. And these pieces are obviously fantastic to wear on their own when spring gets a little bit warmer, but they also work really well to layer underneath some of the other pieces I have, which is really good. And I also have some tank tops. This is from Arquette, and this is actually from H&M. I'm going for something really basic. I quite like the Arquette ones, but if I'm adding anything else, it's going to be something elevated like the olive green Lilysilk tank top, which I think is just that step above. I also have one button-up shirt, and this is from And Other Stories. This is a bit old in my wardrobe now, but it's still, I'm not sure if I should say it's still going strong, but it's still going, so I am wearing it. This isn't too fitted, not too oversized, so I think it's quite versatile. For me, it's just so much easier to get dressed when I have sort of more moderate silhouettes to play around with. And when it gets a little bit warmer, I love using something like this, and I do use the silk shirt this way as well, or I intend to. I will wear the tank top and then I layer the cotton shirt over it. So if it gets a little bit too warm, I do this a lot for summer. And then we have another absolute essential into my capsule wardrobe for spring, and that is a pair of denim jeans. And these are fairly light blue. I could go even lighter. I just really like the cut of these. So these are the COS, I think they're called the column jeans. But I just think they have a really flattering cut, and that is one of the most important things when you're putting together a capsule wardrobe. Denim trends change, whether it's skinny jeans or wide leg or boot cut, whatever you go for. I think the most important thing is to just go for something that is true to your style, something you feel really comfortable in. So I have a pair of tailored trousers as well, and I included one pair in my essentials and one pair in sort of more elevated pieces. And I went with this black pair because it's just really easy, and we have a lot of rainy days during spring, unfortunately. So I just want something that isn't going to be dirty, and I just want something really practical and comfortable and great for work, and these are worn so many times. I have lost count how many times I've worn these, and they're really, really versatile. One thing I really love about these as well, I'm just going to show you up close. Hopefully you can see, it's obviously all black, so it's a little bit difficult, but they have this elastic and this button. So that means that if they're a little bit too wide in the waist, you can actually tighten them and make them fit you in the waist. And to kind of complete that, I did also go with a black blazer, another absolute classic. I am feeling like I'm adding a lot of black for a spring capsule wardrobe, so I think this is my last black piece. It's really not that much, but it just gives me the option of wearing an all black outfit, and especially for those outfits, as you can see, I have a lot of lighter pieces. I like to have a darker layering piece as well, and this is my only one. I haven't really come across wanting a really fitted blazer yet. I'm sure it will happen, but I am quite happy with the one that I have for now. But I'm also really enjoying that I have some different options for the layering pieces, whether they are more fitted or more oversized. Again, just thinking versatility here. Another essential piece in my wardrobe is a little bit of knitwear, and this is carried over from my winter capsule wardrobe. I have worn this a ton for the past, 5 months or something. This is such a good piece. This is in baby cashmere, which makes it incredibly soft, super comfortable to wear. When you want a little bit of warmth but not a ton of bulk, I think cashmere is just the way to go. Now, I do have a few accessories that I consider absolute essentials in a capsule wardrobe as well, and I try to think through my accessories because they do so much for an outfit. I just don't want to ignore them, and I find that my capsule wardrobes work better when I also put a little bit of attention into what accessories do I have, how do I make them work with the pieces I put into the capsule wardrobe. And for the absolute essentials, I need a work tote bag, and as you can see, I've gone with this tan one. I've actually made this one myself. I've had on my shopping list a tan tote, so that is something I might be adding this springtime. I think I said that last spring as well, and it just didn't happen. I'm finding it so difficult to actually decide on one. I have a few options. I have narrowed it down though, so we'll see, maybe. But something that is just big and practical and yet goes with the pieces I have in my wardrobe. I love adding tan for spring because it's such an easy way of brightening up your outfits. I think it also works for all black outfits, so it's really good to just use accessories as well to transform your outfits into being more season appropriate. But I also have one more handbag I would put in my essentials, and that is a shoulder bag. I was very kindly sent this handbag by Songmont, and I love it. It is just so cute. It works great with all of the colors I included into my wardrobe, and I think it is just really chic. Having good accessories in your capsule wardrobe should not be underestimated. I think it is a really important part of it, and they're also really good because you don't have to switch them out as often. I definitely see myself carrying this into my summer capsule wardrobe as well. Again, I love the lighter colors, just something that goes really well, and I have some lighter shoes that this goes well with. So shall we move on to the shoes? First of all, I have my pair of Veja sneakers. I wear these to absolute death, and I have talked about them at length. They are really good, and I think a white sneaker is just such an easy way of elevating an outfit. Unfortunately, we're not quite in sandal weather up here in Scandinavia yet, so I also included a pair of ankle boots, and as you can tell, these are in the same shade as that tote bag. Again, just to create a little bit of cohesiveness into my accessories. It just makes it so much easier to put together outfits. I don't necessarily always have to match them, but having the option just makes everything so much easier and more smooth, so I can highly recommend it. I will say that moving into May, I am definitely going to be adding a pair of sandals as well, because we do have quite nice warm weather sometimes in May, but they are in storage, so I'm just going to keep them where they are for now. That would make up my sort of most basic essentials list for my capsule wardrobe, and as you can probably tell, this will get you dressed. This will cover your most basic needs, and I think if you just want a very small capsule wardrobe, or if you just want to start somewhere, that is always where I would kind of start first, but do not stop at the most basic essentials. If you want to really enjoy your capsule wardrobe and make it feel like your own and something that is a little bit more exciting when you want to get dressed, you want to keep going to, let's call these pieces sort of enhancers. They really elevate an outfit, they add depth and a little bit of polish, if we can say that, to an outfit. Just a little bit more interest, but they're still really versatile, nothing too out there. But this is where I have included my color pieces. So you can see this is where I put in the olive green colored pieces. I think these are really good. And since we're talking about this, I just want to show you how I complete this color to make it work throughout the wardrobe. I have added this RSVP Paris bag, another one that is recent into my wardrobe, and you can see how well this matches. So even if I'm not wearing all of these colors together at the same time, I think it works really well because I can wear this and a white top and the handbag, and then it just mirrors it. It's just much easier to make the color feel cohesive. But this is the first time I didn't stop at one color. We'll see how that goes, but I also added blue. This cardigan is also a recent purchase, something I really love. It's just really fuzzy, and I wanted a piece that was a little bit more of a, it's a little bit more of a statement, but it's still fairly casual and fairly easy to style with all the other neutral pieces I have. And it's also a chunkier, warmer knit for those days where I really want something fairly nice and warm, because I knew I was already going to add these into my capsule wardrobe anyways. It felt like just one more piece and I'll get a lot more option, if that makes sense. And I think these two work really well together. I already talked about this striped silk shirt. It's amazing, but I just really wanted to again highlight that I think it's important to not just settle for the white cotton shirt. It's a good start, but it can very quickly become quite boring. Whereas something like this is just going to keep you interested and more excited to get dressed. That is at least what I notice in myself. Now, I have a couple more items carrying over from my winter capsule wardrobe, and this is also sort of an elevated piece. It is this white suit, but I just think it's going to be really good for spring as well. I love wearing all white outfits come spring to signal the lighter days. Again, I wouldn't necessarily put it in the most basic because it's not always the most practical, but it's something that just gives me so much joy to play around with. If you make it an all white outfit, I always get compliments. I don't necessarily always wear it as a suit, so you do have so many options with these. But I also want some more elevated shoes, and both of these pairs are actually from a collaboration I did recently with a shoe company called 7 or 9. They are such amazing shoes that I knew immediately that these are going to be things I will wear until they fall apart, because they are so comfortable. So a pair of kitten heels is something I typically add to most of my capsule wardrobes. I love having a heel option that is still really easy to walk in. I have been thinking about adding a lighter, like an ivory or white cream colored belt as well, so that might happen. We'll see. And then I have a pair of suede shoes. This is such a luxurious material, and I just love that these are going to add a little bit of extra and a little bit of texture to my outfits. Suede is also another one of those really trendy things this year, so I thought this was a really good addition to my spring capsule wardrobe. Again, in a neutral shade that is going to work with everything here. And another accessory I think is really important to add into a capsule wardrobe is a belt. This looks black because it is, but it's also reversible. So this has the same shade as that tote bag. Again, as I mentioned, I don't really have anything cream colored, and I think that would be really good because that would work really well with this handbag as well. I say this a lot, but my capsule wardrobes are very much works in progress. Throughout the season, I see what works, what doesn't, and then I kind of modify it a little bit. So I feel like every capsule wardrobe gets a little bit better, usually, which is exciting. Now, I really feel like this is a pretty solid capsule wardrobe for me so far. I would have no problem using this for the season, but as I have hopefully made clear a couple times now, I'm very much about making the capsule wardrobe fun and something that I get really excited to get dressed in the morning for. So I have a final category that is sort of more statement-y pieces. First of all, I have a tweed jacket. Definitely not something I am putting in as the first item in a capsule wardrobe, but it's adding a little bit of fun and statement and interest to my wardrobe and my outfits. Again, as you can see, this is not something that is going to go with absolutely everything I have, but it's adding a lot for the outfits that I do add it to. I just think one kind of cool and interesting layering piece. It's a great way of adding a little bit of extra to your outfits. Now, I also have two dresses, and I'm going to be honest and say I'm not entirely happy with the dresses I have in terms of my capsule wardrobe, because I wish I had one that was really basic and really plain, like a really soft cotton maxi dress that had a long sleeve, something that I could dress up or down, wear to work, wear for casual days as well. So I just haven't really found it yet. If I had, I definitely would have added it to my capsule wardrobe. I'm just going to show you two dresses that I have put in here that are a little bit more, I want to call them personality pieces, more statement pieces really. And the first is a floral dress. This is from H&M, and I think it is just really, really beautiful. Obviously not something I can wear in March really in Norway because it's too cool, but for May this is going to be beautiful and really comfortable, and I love having both a shorter option and a longer option. And the other dress I have is also from H&M, and as you can see I have gone with my sort of secondary color, and this is in a sort of very soft denim-y fabric, which I think is just making this dress really, really interesting and definitely a little bit more of a statement. It's not something I would consider a basic, but it still works in my capsule wardrobe because I have thought through the color palette and it works with the layering pieces. And because this dress is a solid color and it's longer, I feel like it has a little bit more versatility than the floral dress. I can use it for a little bit more in my life as well. So I have one more accessory, and it is a pair of high heels, and just a pair of nude high heels to kind of go with the dresses. It's not something I wear a ton on a daily basis, but I feel like, again, it's important to have versatility in the capsule wardrobe. So I knew I definitely wanted a pair of high heels as well. Again, thank you so much to Lilysilk for sending me some beautiful and favorite new additions to my capsule wardrobe. Don't forget to use my code SandraLS20 or SandraLS25 if you're checking out some of their items. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have already built your spring capsule wardrobe. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you very shortly. Bye!